Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is that time again. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Charlie Usen over there. I am looking forward to next year because I'm looking forward to coming out and checking out all the great affiliates we have around the state of Wisconsin, whether it be in Green Bay and Appleton at WNFL 99.7 FM or heading out to Wausau, 93.9 The Game in Wausau. The last time I was in Wausau, I think, was for like a state bowling tournament or something years ago. Duluth Superior, 7:10 The Game. Looking forward to getting way up north there. And in Milwaukee, of course, that's where we are right now, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM Defense. So thanks for tuning in here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Hope you all are going to have a good weekend, have some fun plans ahead, and enjoy yourself. The one thing we do know is we will not be watching the Packers on Sunday.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Fifer.
This is going to be fun. I can't wait to see what Matt LaFleur has to say to irritate me today. So let's go to the first clip that we have here of Matt LaFleur talking about Josh Jacobs, because it was brought up by Ryan Wood at the top of the 3 o'clock hour last hour that, man, he's just not getting as many carries. He's not playing as much. And again, he's been dealing, the calf injury or whatever he's been battling, and wearing that like warming sleeve and everything else on his calf to keep him loose and so forth. So Matt LaFleur was asked about the amount of snaps Josh Jacobs is getting.
I think that's always the balancing act that you have to play each and every week. He says he feels great, so that's a big plus. But yeah, we're definitely a different team when he is fully involved with our offense, and we got to make sure that he's a focal point, whether we're getting them the ball or not.
I agree with the focal point. The one thing I don't know, and the thing that we brought up to Ryan Wood that we still haven't seen, is are they going to go with the extra jumbo offensive line like has been talked about this week on this show? Will they bring Belton in and use him as that jumbo U71? Remember Kevin Barry back in the day for the Packers? Use him in that manner to really run it and pound it down people's throats. If you're going to pull it out, yes, you go week to start Monday night against this front seven of the Eagles. If you're going to pull it out and try and push people backwards, this is your week. Because if Philly gets to pushing on you, it's going to be a long night for this Packers offense.
I think you only pull it out, though, if you've practiced it to this point. And yes, I think if this is something that you've only worked on this week with a rookie offensive lineman that's already been pushed into game action and has been flustered a little bit in that game action that we've seen as well, you don't really want to throw him out there in, again, another brand new position like we've seen with Jordan Morgan over and over again. I know this is a very kind of special occasion that he'd be out on the field in that situation. At the same time, that adds a whole nother thing for him to worry about and focus on. So if this is not something you've worked on prior to this week of practice, then you cannot go out there and do that, because it's just going to result in bad looks for Anthony Belton, which is not what you want right now.
This is the thing. He's also asked, Matt LaFleur is also asked about struggles in the red zone against Carolina. Now, I'm going to remind you, they were 7th in the league coming into this bad boy in red zone offense. They were one of the, second best in third down conversion? So let's just relax a little bit on, oh no, they can't score in the red zone because it happened in one game. Chill out. Having said that, LaFleur was asked about it.
I don't want to overreact to anything. Obviously, you better acknowledge it. I think that's, you acknowledge that it happened, and then you try to take the necessary steps to not allow it to happen again. I mean, I think about just, not to rehash it, but like in the first half, we got down there 3 times and had 6 points. And you had a fumble, you had a drive-stopping penalty, and you had a 2-minute situation where you might attack it a little bit differently. And then In the second half, you got a turnover on downs, another field goal. So like, or a touchdown. So like, you just don't want to overreact to that. You got to consider the situations, and trust your process and how you go about doing it.
This is another area where I think you go jumbo and you use Belton. But what if Belton's out there, right? And he motions to a fullback position in front of Josh Jacobs and says, Jordan Davis, here I come, right? And just get that big old mammoth of a man Belton running forward. Or you give him the ball and send him forward and see what happens, like Refrigerator Perry back in the day on Monday Night Football against the Packers. That, to me, is a type of stuff now that you could have fun with and do because you lost Tucker Kraft. So now you have a reason to experiment with different blocking ideas, adding different personnel in, and really being in a position where the defense is going to see stuff they hadn't seen yet. They can't prepare for something they don't see on tape. As the season goes on, they'll be able to prepare for it a little bit more. But right now, in this game against Philly, if you want to start experimenting with stuff and bringing stuff out, this, to me, is the game to do it. And, man, Monday Night Football, Belton just running over Michael Carter or something like that, or Jalen Carter, man, that would be amazing.
It would be amazing. But, again, if you're going to do something like this, this is a
situation. Throw water on it. Go ahead.
He's a young player who, again, hasn't been perfect when he's been out there in the first place. And now, again, you're asking him to go in motion to the backfield, something he's never done in his career. I guarantee you, unless it's been like one random time in high school where they allowed him to do it. Run up the middle, try to block somebody in open space. That's not the same as just blocking somebody that's head on, especially for a guy as big as Belton is. It's a lot easier just to get a guy that's right in front of you than try to work around with a defensive tackle that could be pretty athletic in a situation like that. Yes, you can do this and it could work, but you're putting him into a bad spot. Also a spot where he's in open field, which means offensive linemen get hurt a lot more in open field. Yeah. And he's a big guy who could get hurt easily.
Fine. Now I take you to Matt LaFleur, who talks about the fact that this Packers defense is seeing stuff that they haven't seen on film, which is what I'm asking this offense to do.
You got to know yourself and, some of the things that have given you challenges and account for that because that's what they're watching. So, you got to have a plan for both, I would say, and then just be able to react and pivot one way or the other. And, that's one thing that I've always respected about Vic is they're going to challenge you. They're going to give you maybe some looks that are unaccounted for, but they're more than anything else. Those guys play hard and they play fundamentally sound. There's no gimmies out there.
That's Isam Fangio and the Philadelphia Eagles and showing teams looks that they haven't seen during the year. Can we say that about Jeff Hafley?
Not really. Not right now. But also, does he have the same kind of talent on his defense?
He's got Micah Parsons.
I know he has Micah Parsons, but are the other guys around that the linebackers, the defensive backs?
Hold on. We've already talked about this on this show. Cliff Kingsbury, earlier in the year after week 2 or whatever it was, talking to Ross Tucker and saying, hey, man, fastest defense I think I've seen, period. Like, fastest defense we've seen in this league in a long time. So you've got the speed. You've got the pieces to do different fun stuff like that if you want. Edgerrin Cooper on a wide receiver or whatever to try and change things up and so forth and take a shot and show them stuff. I think you do have the pieces if you want to get aggressive. But this all comes back to the same thing, which is Sparky, if they blitz, if they do something crazy and exotic, and if they don't get home and hit them and get the quarterback, do you trust the corners to do their job? And 9 out of 10 people will tell you, no, I don't.
No, I don't either. And I think that when we talk about an Edgerrin Cooper, yes, you talk about in week 2 or week 3 when we're talking about him as a player. Since then, it's honestly been pretty quiet on Edgerrin Cooper. And that's not saying he's played bad, but you've seen the things that are weaknesses in his game. And the weaknesses in his game are when he does get a little aggressive. It's the same thing with Quay Walker, where he over pursues or hits the wrong hole or is just in the wrong spot over and over again. And again, kind of going back to what I'm saying with Anthony Belton, when you give these guys more duties to work with, that only gives them more opportunities to mess up as well. So you have to do this again. You have to be ready and know that your players are ready to run these defenses if you are going to do it.
The other part of this Matt LaFleur press conference, which I always enjoy hearing him, because this is it's not like crazy Pat Murphy. Like Pat Murphy, you're facing a 9U Little League team. Well, they're really talented. Nobody's picking us to win this game. We're just hoping we could show up and do something against the 9-year-olds. Just nobody believes in the Brewers, but we'll do something. So glad I don't listen to that anymore. So it's not to that extent. But most NFL head coaches and college coaches will always play up how good the other team is and so forth. Now, in this instance, the Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC. I think most people would say. Well, Fleur talked about the challenges of playing them.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things that it's tough to account for, and we just got to be ready to react. Obviously, Jalen, it's a little bit. He's going to be an edge rusher primarily. Could they move him inside? Yeah. Just going back and watching some of the Miami stuff, what they did with him, where he was getting his pressures. You saw him a little bit inside, primarily, on our right side. But we got to be able to adjust whatever situation. Obviously, Cooper DeJean, he's been playing inside and outside. So whether they use Carter inside and keep him outside, or they put one of the other corners out there, or whatever it may be, you just got to be ready to react.
So that's fair. Jalen Phillips comes over from the Dolphins at the trade deadline, and now it's a new wrinkle that you have to be concerned about. Just like the Lions having to get concerned for Micah Parsons in week 1. He's not the same player as Micah Parsons, but still a formidable threat as far as a guy that can get to the quarterback and somebody you have to hold accountable. How much faith do we have in Matt LaFleur and this offense to make adjustments to things going wrong?
Not as much faith as I had at the beginning of the season. I'll say that. I think we've seen them at points in the second half this season. You have those giant quarters where they can just ball out, and then also have quarters where they look like a team that's completely lost out there. Again, it's within these games that you're seeing a different version of the Packers team every single time. So there's some weeks where, I'm pretty confident they can go into the second half and make those adjustments. And then the very next week, I watch the same team in the first half and go, yep, they just will not change anything. This is going to go downhill now from here on.
That's the scary part about it. The Packers, for most of LaFleur's time in Green Bay, have been a second half team. And it's been the first half that have been the struggles. Even if you go back to Love's first year, it was the same thing. They struggled in the first half, picked up in the second half. Last year, same thing. Weren't the best in the first half, but they figured out in the second half, and that's when they would go on the run. So this whole idea of, oh my God, they don't score points every single quarter. Oh my God, they don't score touchdowns every single drive. LaFleur's an idiot. Jordan Love can't play. All this nonsense. Like, it's just not a thing. When we talked to Devin Jackson earlier, I said, hey, man, Eagles fans melt down every time they lose. He just laughed and said, yep, every time. Right? So it's not just a Packer fan thing. It's an NFL fan thing. And part of that reason is there's not a ton of games.
Well, and I think with the Green Bay Packers right now, too, when we talk about their second halves so far this season, what also kind of hurts them a little bit, and this isn't to their fault, but it's that the Bears have been really good in second halves for some reason, have been able to figure it out. The Vikings have been really good in second halves and been able to figure these games out. The Lions later on in the season have been able to figure out. So the teams that are immediately around them are doing the things that the Packers have normally been able to do. So it's just weird that the Packers aren't doing it as consistently as those teams are.
There are your clips from Matt LaFleur as we do your Green and Gold update, brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And speaking of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, it's Bucks and Bulls tonight. First game of Cup action. Want to hit up the Potawatomi Sportsbook before the Bucks home game tonight, but need a ride to the game? It's a slam dunk by hitching a ride on a Potawatomi game day shuttle. Just make a bet at Potawatomi Sportsbook and catch a shuttle to Fifer Forum. After your purchase or bet, a wristband will be given to you at the bar or betting counter upon request. You'll need the wristband to board the Potawatomi shuttles. The shuttles then begin departing 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game, with return shuttles starting at the beginning of the third quarter and will run nonstop up until an hour after the game. Why drive downtown and pay for parking when you can ride the shuttle? For more, visit Potawatomi.com. Up next, a Fantasy Football Friday with our guy Joe Bartel of RotoWire Fantasy Sports. Let's get your questions in. So let's get to it. Nicolay Law, Fan Talk and Text Line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Watch us on X. Watch us on YouTube. Live streaming there. Check us out on YouTube. Our videos, our shorts, all available for you at WI Sports Radio. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, summed up by Wendy's. Here on a Friday, weekend is here, people. It's here. Time to have some fun this weekend. Hopefully the weather will be good wherever you're listening around the state. Doesn't look great for southeastern Wisconsin, but hopefully it looks better for y'all around the state. Sports Talk, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is presented by Paramount Plus. Streaming November 16th on Paramount Plus is the return of Landman. From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Yellowstone, Academy Award winner Billy Bob Thornton is back, featuring Academy Award-winning nominees Demi Moore, Andy Garcia, and Sam Elliott. Landman. A new season streaming November 16th only on Paramount Plus. Make sure to go do that today. And as I told Charlie, I'm pretty excited because I actually know these people. Normally, half the time, he's like, hey, you know this actor? Hey, do you know this actress? Nope, I have no idea.
Only because they're like 700 years old.
I have no idea. But do you want to know a little something on movies and so forth? Yeah. You always make fun of me for my Christmas movies or whatever else. My Christmas movies are killing it online right now. Killing it.
So dumb. My sister is probably the main perpetrator of that. She loves Christmas more than you, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying people can't love it more than me. I will say this. Brandon Snide, producer of 9 to Noon with Kuhn, John Kuhn and Rami Makloff, he sent me pictures because, you know, that whole story. They started right after Halloween, which is normally when we start, but we got other stuff going on, so we're behind. But he sent me pictures the other night of his, man. Gorgeous. His house is gorgeous. I've never been in his house, but the pictures, they do a phenomenal job in that household. All right, joining me now is a guy that I don't know what he does one way or the other for Christmas time, but it's time for Fantasy Football Friday with our guy Joe Bartel of RotoWire Fantasy Sports. Follow him on Twitter at JB Fantasy Sports. And of course, joins us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. If you have a question for Joe Bartel, you can use the call feature, you can use the text feature, you can use the YouTube chat feature, the Twitter X feature as well, because you can comment on our live streams on X and they'll pop right up and we'll see them. Same with the YouTube chat as we live stream at WI Sports Radio. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250. Joe Bartel, how much into Christmas does Joe Bartel get? When do Christmas decorations and trees and so forth go up?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm a classic millennial that hasn't been able to commit to a house yet. So partially the home decorations, I don't think are really going to happen until I have a property of my own that I think I would. But I do want to have that happen someday. I think I would rather do that than the Halloween decorations. I love seeing the lights around my tree. My 4-year-old son does too. We go to probably 2 or 3 light shows across the state. It feels like every single year. And, you know, he's still super into that stuff too. So I think we will at some point. My family never really went overboard with it, but I don't really judge people who do because I wish I could. And my birthday is 4 days after Christmas. So for the longest time that I can remember, Christmas and my birthday have always been tied together, and I do resent that just a little bit. So maybe that's partially why I'm not full get up in the decorations right off the rip.
Resent it?
Yes.
Why?
Because everybody else in the entire world gets to have presents on their birthday and on Christmas.
Yes.
Joe Bartle just gets to have them all together at once.
Well, that's on your parents. Don't be mad at anybody else. That's a parent's problem. I agree with you. You should have a birthday party 4 days after Christmas, and there should be a whole different set of gifts. Yes.
I think I would rather have it spread out a little bit because, at least for me, I mean, I really love that. That's one of my favorite holidays, and certainly has been watching my kid grow up too. I like the lead up to Christmas a lot. Really, just the beginning of December is awesome because I'm a huge fan of the weather change at that point too. But then afterwards, there really is a low period, I feel like. And I was actually thinking about this earlier today that there really needs to be more holidays really put directly after Christmas. Like, can we just call it like Hangover Christmas in mid-January just so we can all feel like a little bit happier looking forward to something? Because New Year's Eve is okay, whatever. We have to have something else a little bit more until we get to what? I don't know. Is it the next one Easter? Or it feels like there's too big of a gap between Christmas and the next thing.
Well, Thanksgiving is between Halloween and Christmas. And then Christmas, you have New Year's Day. So you get off there. And then you have a run to, I guess, Easter, I guess would be the next one. Okay, so enough of the talking holiday talk. But I think Charlie would agree. My kids will probably say the same thing. Parents were really into Christmas. Yeah. Just not really into it. Really didn't get to experience it.
Yeah,
Probably what they're going to say. Yeah. All right, here we go. Nicolay Law talking text line. Lineups, questions, trade questions, whatever the case may be. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. 414. Garrett Wilson was dropped in my league. Wow. Should I pick him up and drop Boutte?
Of course you should pick up Garrett Wilson. Like, I understand the Jets offense isn't what it's supposed to be, but I don't know. Are you familiar, or either one of you, if I say you're in a taco league, do you guys know what that reference might mean?
No.
From the league, like Taco
is
is
the
the
league,
worst
yes. And
person in the league.
Yeah, the one character in the league is about as dumb as it can be. It's very, very representative, I think, of a lot of different fantasy football leagues. But if your league is a taco league, it refers to basically the members of your league making moronic decisions.
Hold on. Stop. Hey, is the Jack Pembroke League a taco league?
No, not fully. Some guys try to make some taco style trades too. Like I had to turn down a few the past couple of days because they were so bad. Yeah.
Okay, Jack Pembroke is his co-host at Wisconsin Sports Week.
Jack knows what he's doing for the most part.
Yeah.
It's some of the other guys in the league that are a little crazy.
Wisconsin Sports Weekend 9 to 11 on Saturdays here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And Jack Pembroke is the king of telling everybody that he's the best fantasy football player in the world. Well, Charlie now got into that league, and he and I were just talking the other day about that league. So I wanted to see if it was a taco league or not. All right, continue on now that we know what taco league is.
Yeah. The listeners are going to know about a taco league too, and they're going to laugh at you that you're playing in a taco league and ask you should pick up Garrett Wilson. Of course, you should pick up Garrett Wilson, and especially that Kayshon Boutte is not playing this week for the Patriots. I think that's a no-brainer. That you have the good fortune of having Garrett Wilson available in the first place is probably better than I would bet 90% of different leagues right now, because the waiver wire is tough, and we have another stretch of really difficult buys this week and next week too. So you are very privileged, I think, to have Garrett Wilson available. Please pick him up.
Please pick him up. I would agree, regardless of who the quarterback is, right? A great player is a great player regardless in this situation, or does it ever affect whether or not you're going to play somebody?
Yeah, I always point to Amari Cooper 2 years ago with Jacoby Brissett, the quarterback for the Browns. And Amari Cooper was able to benefit that. Desmond Ridder made Drake London fantasy relevant. Really, to me, if the receiver is that good, they will supersede any sort of bad quarterback concerns. This Browns example, or Browns offense this year, maybe is counter to that with how bad Jerry Jeudy has played. But I just don't know if Jerry Jeudy is the same type of receiver as Amari Cooper or Drake London or Garrett Wilson. So, yes, you definitely pick up Garrett Wilson, and there really is no concerns.
All right, let's talk about some of the situations where people are trying to figure out start or sit type situations. Before we do that, we saw what happened at the NFL trade deadline. Anybody's fortune changed dramatically through the trade deadline?
I mean, your team, the Colts, right? I mean, that's fantastic work getting Gardner.
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe I missed the previous show about
No. Because now DeForest Buckner just is hurt and is gone now on the IR. So, yes, we got Sauce Gardner, and just as quickly as we got a great player, we lost one. So it really didn't change crap. But anyways, Joe, go on.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's a tough one for – I think Buckner is going to return this season.
Well, it's gonna. We'll see. This is going to be at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, at least 4 weeks, which is tough. Obviously, Packer fans understand that because Tucker Kraft now done for the year. That one definitely hurts quite a bit. I mean, you saw Jacoby Myers go to Jacksonville. They gave up a 4th and 6th round pick. They gave up a first rounder for this year as well, too, as part of that Travis Hunter deal back in April. Like, that is a consequential trade to give a 4th and 6th round pick when you're already missing your first. I just don't think it matters. I'm not a huge Trevor Lawrence guy. I think he's been very disappointing this year. And I know no Brian Thomas Jr. this week. You might have Jacoby Myers see some volume by default, but midseason receiver trades in particular, the history just isn't very good for those guys to have a rapport right away with the quarterback. So maybe Myers sees a bit more volume because he was kind of getting pushed out in Las Vegas, but I'm not really a fan of going out and saying, go trade for Jacoby Myers because I just don't see how that move makes a whole lot of difference. And even like A.D. Mitchell now going from the Colts to the Jets, there's opportunities, certainly in New York, with the same sort of concept where I have zero faith in that offense or that quarterback being able to have a chemistry with an A.D. Mitchell. The one deal that didn't happen was Breece Hall stays with the Jets. I thought for sure that he would be traded and Isaiah Davis would be fantasy relevant. I think it's safe to drop Isaiah Davis as well, too, in deep league. So overall, it was a very disappointing fantasy day for me on the trade deadline because I thought there'd be more moves and there just wasn't.
Put me down for a Breece Hall injury in the next 2 weeks. That'll keep him out for the rest of the year.
Correct. That in a bunch of my deeper leagues, I'm holding out Isaiah Davis for that exact reason that, Breece is going to have a hamstring injury, and we'll just put him on IR just to be safe.
Correct. I think that's coming, but we'll see. Let's go to the Nicolay Law Talk text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Jim and Racine, you're next with Joe Bartel here on a Fantasy Football Friday from RotoWire Fantasy Sports.
Hi, Joe. Just a quick question. Is it time for me to give up on Jordan Mason? The guy's been driving me nuts all year.
Boy, you and me both. I totally understand, Jim. I think with Aaron Jones banged up, there's an opportunity, at least this week, against that Ravens defense that you can have Jordan Mason get some volume. I had him ranked like running back 27 this week, so There's certainly many circumstances where you're not playing Jordan Mason at all. The only issue is, again, with multiple teams of consequence on bye, and really nothing from a waiver wire perspective for the past month, maybe Kyle Monangai in shallower leagues. There just isn't better options. Like, I would rather play Jordan Mason over Devin Singletary.
So Jim, what's your option over Mason?
This week, due to buys, Zach Charbonnet and Derrick Henry, of course, but Charbonnet is my only other running back.
I'll play Charbonnet over Jordan Mason this week. I think the Seahawks are in a prime spot to be able to score some points against the Cardinals, and Charbonnet's been the red zone guy. So actually, I would play Charbonnet over Jordan Mason.
See, this is what Joe Bartel is here for. He's here to help. He's here to bring you through these lineup questions and these issues that you may have. Charlie, what are you doing?
I have a line of questions.
You have a line of questions? I thought you said you were in a taco league.
Well, this is my other league.
Oh,
I have multiple leagues here.
How many are taco leagues?
Only one of them, I think.
See, there you go, Jack Pembroke. Your league sucks.
I didn't say it was a full taco league.
Sorry,
too.
that's
It's like
a half a taco league. That's not a thing. You can't just make stuff up at this point. No,
I can do whatever I want, Sparky.
That's all right. That's okay. Go ahead.
Joe, my question for you is, right now I have Jaylen Warren in my starting lineup at running back. I could also put Rashad White into that situation. I could also go down to my flex and put Rashad White in for Ladd McConkey. What is the best spot? Who are the best two out of those three?
Yeah, you might be in a taco league if those are good for you that you're in a spot week 10.
I think I'm a good drafter too. I don't know.
Oh,
I try.
Yeah, that's all my friends said. They're just really good GMs.
Yeah, exactly.
All the other league mates are stupid. Yeah, I gotcha. I do think Rashad White's in a really good spot now. I mean, the Patriots defense has been pretty good, but they have played some lackluster opponents. And no Bucky Irving now for this week. We'll have to see how long he might be out. He was supposed to return and didn't even practice at all post-bye. So that's a little bit alarming. I think I'm playing Rashad White over Ladd McConkey. And this got a little bit underreported because it happened during the trade deadline as well. But Joe Alt, stud left tackle for the Chargers, done it for the season with that high ankle sprain that he seemed to re-aggravate, had surgery on it. That's going to affect the offensive line. I think Oronde Gadsden, I think Keenan Allen are going to have fine enough seasons now. But Ladd McConkey, I don't know if he's going to have as many opportunities for really him to flourish within this offense. They won't have enough time. So at least this week, I think I'm playing Rashad White over Ladd McConkey.
I got a question about Charlie's team, the Bears. So it looks like Swift probably will come back. But does that mean you play both running backs for the Bears now in this game against the New York Giants, or only one of them?
Yeah, I actually kind of think you could play both. So first warning, the total for this game is set at 46.5 points, which feels suspiciously low watching the Bears score 47 and the Bengals 42 last week. I mean, I don't think the Giants offense is quite as good as the Bengals, but Bears defense is bad and they're banged up as well too. Like if the Giants score 30, I wouldn't be shocked at all. So in that event, you have to have the Bears keep scoring more points like they did last week. And I think DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai are a factor. Now we had Ben Johnson earlier today talk about how he wanted to go with the hot hand approach. I hate that phrasing. It's just, I know what the coaches are doing, but it really is just a cop-out answer. Like, you can tell us, Kyle Monangai want to get at least 10 touches. Like, these coaches are aware of what they want to have for the volume part of things. And I think after what Monangai did last week, that he has to be a factor. And also, Swift was banged up prior to being out last week. It's not like 1 5-day stretch will just completely heal everyone, especially playing as physical a sport as football. So I believe that both, and moving forward, are probably in that territory. You could play both those running backs in good matchups.
All right, I got to roll here, but I got to know this. Give me a player or two with these people struggling on buys that you would be like, this may not seem like a great pickup, but it might be this week.
Yeah, Parker Washington for Jacksonville feels like the obvious call now with Brian Thomas Jr. out for that receiving core. And again, Jacoby Myers just joining that team. He had 19 targets over the past 2 weeks, and Jacksonville's going to have to pass. And the Texans, they're one area that they kind of are bad in. It's the slot, and Parker Washington probably going to be playing there this week with Jacoby Myers on the outside. So I don't mind him. Otherwise, though, it's pretty bleak. I mean, I had a hard time. I was going through my QB streamers this week, and I landed on Bryce Young. Well, I'm removing Bryce Young from that equation because Ted McMillan probably isn't playing for the Carolina Panthers this week, too. So I don't know. I mean, really, truly, it was a bleak week. We all know who Luke Musgrave is. That Luke Musgrave was one of the top waiver wire pickups for this week. I think speaks volumes to how unavailable it feels like a lot of waiver wire options are.
There he is, Joe Bartel. Every Friday we do Roto Wire Fantasy Sports and a Fantasy Football Friday. Find Joe Bartel on X. I Can Talk at JB Fantasy Sports. Again, at JB Fantasy Sports. And you're on the radio as well, right, Joe?
Oh, yeah. On SiriusXM on both Friday and Saturday. We'll have our show 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Channel 87.
Joe, where do we live?
Well, I mean, we live in Wisconsin.
So why are we talking about Eastern time zone times then, Joe?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're totally right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Thank you. Good correction. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So it's 5 to 7. People can find him on SiriusXM tonight and tomorrow. Joe, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you guys for having me on.
Take care. There he is, Joe Bartel, joining us here on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all.
You would like the league. You should watch the league.
I attempted to watch the league after the fact, and we were by Kay's mom's house.
Okay, that was a bad idea. Yeah.
And there was nudity and so forth.
That was a bad place.
And
to
Kay's
watch
like,
the show.
"What the heck do you have on with kids in the living room?" And I was like, "And it's going off."
Yeah, it's not.
And I have not watched it since.
It is like the least kid show possible.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
I thought it was a fantasy football show, so I was like, "Oh, this will be fun."
It is.
And then all of a sudden, there's nudity, and she's like, "Yeah, no, this is not appropriate currently." And I was like, "And it goes."
It is a fantasy football show. Overall, yes.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. I'm not bashing anybody that's watching.
Just watch really it when the kids are at bed.
Right. Yeah. And when the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's. Bucks Bulls tonight. The great Chicago Bulls. Yeah, we'll see. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. No purchase necessary. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win, so act fast. Get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's. If we're being honest. We'll talk with our guy coming up here as we follow the money with Austin Herdenia. I feel really good about the Bucks tonight because you know they're going to play really hard because they care about the cup, probably more than the Bulls do.
I think just Giannis cares about the cup at this point, man. He loves that thing. I love it too.
I'm going to ask Austin Herdenia about this Bucks Bulls game coming up tonight. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you're an old person like I am, I've got a very funny old man story that happened to me that probably embarrassed my kid coming up shortly, so don't go anywhere. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy. Sparky here, Charlie Usen over there, other side of the glass. Bucks are home tonight, taking on the Chicago Bulls. Want to hit up Potawatomi Sportsbook for the Bucks home game tonight, but need a ride to the game. It's a slam dunk by hitching a ride on the Potawatomi Game Day Shuttle. Just make a bet at Potawatomi Sportsbook and catch a shuttle to Fifer Forum. After your purchase or bet, a wristband will be given to you at the bar or betting counter upon request. You'll need the wristband to board the Potawatomi shuttle. The shuttles begin departing 1 hour and 15 minutes before the game, with return shuttles starting at the beginning of the third quarter. Don't you let me hear you that you left at the beginning of the third quarter of a Bucks game. And it will run nonstop until an hour after the game. I drive downtown and pay for parking when you can just ride the shuttle. For more, visit Potawatomi.com.
It's time to follow the money with Austin Herdina, the sportsbook manager of the Potawatomi Sportsbook on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM.
So there you go. Let's get to our fine person over there. Austin Herdina joins us now on video. He's looking stellar. He's doing his thing over there. I got to tell you, man, like, how many ties does one Austin Herdina, Potawatomi Sportsbook manager, have?
It's about 40, but I only really wear about 5 or 6 of them. I have so many that just sit there on the rack that I don't know. I should just get rid of them.
You can see Austin Herdina and his stylish look going on right now on X and on YouTube. Again, at WI Sports Radio. Again, at WI Sports Radio. Now, we follow the money. I'm going to ask you where the most money is on the slate of the NFL games coming up this weekend. Before I do that, I'd like to start, if you don't mind, quickly on the Bucks and Bulls coming up tonight, because I said before you came on, I feel like the Bucks are going to care more about this than the Bulls, probably, especially Giannis, because they're all about defending their cup title, which none of us care about, but they're all into it. Where does that feel like we're at right now? Spread-wise, money put down, where are we at?
I'll tell you what, right now it's Milwaukee Bucks minus 4.5 on the spread, minus 180 on the money line, total of 240.5. I will say, one of our team members here was able to get in the arena, and he sent me a picture of the court, and just the way the court is set up for the NBA Cup is awesome. I love the artwork on it. Such a great look. So if you haven't seen that yet, you'll like that tonight.
What colors are they?
Oh, it's all over. It's just
a rainbow of colors. So it's not just all green or all black.
It is mostly green. You got the big cup in the middle. It says Milwaukee, but yeah, it's definitely mostly green. And then got some gold color in the paint.
Okay, so it's not a rainbow of colors, right? So it's not like somebody puked up color all over the floor then.
No. Just mostly our green and gold.
Fine, that's fine. All right, Austin Herdina, number one game bet on right now at the Potawatomi Sportsbook as we sit here on Friday.
It is the Packers and the Eagles. And which team do you think is getting more money?
Eagles
by a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of people betting the Eagles. I think that it's a team that we've struggled with recently. And we're the favorite. It was a little surprising to me. I was surprised. I was just surprised to see us as the favorite, even though we're at home. We've only covered once in the last 6 games. I don't know. We're coming off a tough game with Carolina. I don't love it. I don't love the Packers this week. Bettors are on the Eagles. I can understand why.
We had on Devin Jackson, sports editor for the Philadelphia Inquirer. I got his prediction at the end. He's got the Eagles winning by 3 points. 27-24 in that game. He thinks it's going to be close. He's concerned about the Eagles secondary against this Packers offense. I'm concerned about the Packers offensive line protecting Jordan Love, run blocking for Josh Jacobs. That's where my issue is going into this one.
Did you know, I was looking at some numbers for this game. Josh Jacobs has had a touchdown in 16 of his last 17 games. That's awesome.
Really good. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has had a rushing touchdown in all 7 of his Monday Night Football starts in his career.
Ooh, okay.
Tidbit. You put those 2 in a parlay together, you're going to get a pretty nice price.
Yeah, there you go. See, again, he's helping you make money, people. He's helping you make money. This is what Austin Herdina did all year on the leadoff show before Brewers games. This is what he does. He helps you make money. All right, number 2 bet game on the slate this weekend.
So we got the Lions against the Commanders. It's in Washington, but the Lions are favored by 8, and they're getting all the money right now. It's a game that, the Lions coming off a loss at home against Minnesota, where they were a 9.5 point favorite. Detroit does not lose many games 2 in a row like this. In fact, they've covered 12 straight games following a loss. So that means they're going to have to win the game by 9 or more here. It's also a revenge spot from the playoffs. You know, the way that Lions played last year, such a great team, just felt like it was injuries that just, you know, made them lose that game at the end. They just ran out of steam late against Washington. But I think it's a revenge spot. I like the Lions in this one, so I'm with the bettors on this one.
All right, third game.
Carolina Panthers -5.5 against New Orleans. So
you Packer fans are unbelievable. You're so mad at the Packers, you bet Philly, and now you're in love with Carolina because they beat your Packers. So now you're running out to bet Carolina. Y'all are crazy, man. I'm one of y'all, but it's just stop being so damn emotional. And look who's talking. I'm Mr. Emotional. Go ahead.
It's a lot of recency bias, right?
Yes.
A lot of people they're seeing Carolina, they're seeing how they beat Green Bay. Oh, they must be better than we think.
God help us. If Philadelphia smokes the Packers and Carolina loses to the Saints, all hell is going to break loose on Tuesday on this show. It's going to be insane.
Well, let me tell you this. Another streak here. Panthers haven't covered as a favorite in 10 straight. They're not a favorite very often, but we haven't covered. So
but that's got to be like over like 3 years or something then, right? How long are we talking? Is that over?
I didn't check that, but yeah, it's got to be because they're not a favorite very often.
Yeah.
They're playing New Orleans. It's their divisional rival technically. I mean, there's not really much good history between those two teams, but
we're having some issues with Austin Herdenia glitching a little bit. Austin, I got to roll, man. Thank you so much for your time, buddy. You're looking good again on a Friday. Looking good. There he is, Austin Herdenia from the Potawatomi Sportsbook manager. Go down there and take advantage, man. Great food at the Potawatomi Sportsbook kitchen. Well, great staff of people to deal with as well. Reserve your seat ahead of time. Go to Potawatomi.com. Look for the sportsbook. You can reserve your seat ahead of time as well. So there goes Austin Herdenia on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Tommy Wirtz is in the studio. I'd like Tommy Wirtz to come to the microphone. You don't mind, sir. We got like 4 minutes left to go here. I think Tommy Wirtz is in here. Maybe Tommy Wirtz isn't in here. You know what? I think I put Tommy Wirtz to sleep. I think he's sleeping. No, he's over there ignoring me. Tommy! Hey, I'm talking about you. Yeah, over here. Come up to the microphone real quick. Here he comes, getting uncovered from our couch. Yeah, he literally wasn't sleeping. He was looking at his phone.
He had his earbuds in.
Okay, so I've only got like 3 minutes here, but I got to tell you a quick, funny old man story because I know you'll appreciate this tremendously. Because I'm an old man. So the other day, yesterday, my kid was making this card for soldiers, for Cub Scouts that they were doing for veterans. They were very cool. And he messed up on a couple of them, but I was trying to help him with that. So then the bus came. I was like, oh, no, I never made his lunch. So I was like, just go, and I'll bring your lunch before I go to work. Okay, sounds good. So he gets on the bus. I bring him his lunch. So then last night, he gets home, forgot his lunchbox at school. So we messaged the teacher. Okay, I'll leave it for him because we had Cub Scouts last night. He can get it. Fine. So we get the lunchbox. He brings it back home. This morning, I get up, and I'm making lunches. I was like, hey, get me your lunchbox so I can pack it and make sure you empty out the old sandwich or whatever you didn't eat and throw it out. Okay, sounds good. He looks at me and goes, hey, do you know what you did to me yesterday? Did I know what I did to you yesterday? No, I don't think so. What did I do to you yesterday? He's like, well, I sat down at lunch with all my friends. I open up my lunchbox. I take out my sandwich out of the bag or whatever. I take a bite. Dad, you never took the wrapper off the cheese when you put it into my sandwich. I'm like, what? He's like, yes, you never took the wrapper off. He goes, I spent half of lunch trying to take the wrapper off of my cheese so I could eat my sandwich.
So like all covered in like mayo and stuff.
No, he doesn't like any of that stuff. So it was just cheese, ham, and the bun. Or that's all it was. I felt so stupid. I was like, you've got to be kidding me, Jack. You got to be
plastic
kidding me.
might be good for your diet at some point.
I
Build
don't
up the immune system, right? Yeah.
Can you imagine his friends? What in the world is wrong with your dad?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
right?
we would be roasting plastic cheese boy. Yeah, just wouldn't let him forget it. Be like, oh, whoa, Tucker Kraft's gone now. This guy's got it all over here, like the entire time. Yeah, it would be. He would have the cheese touch, Charlie. You know,
I know the cheese. Do you know the cheese touch, Sparky?
No
shot.
No chance.
Well, his son grew up like during that time where Diary of a Wimpy Kid was a big thing. You don't know what that is?
Yeah, they read that.
So the cheese touch is from that.
Yes.
Oh,
right. So they had the old piece of cheese like was left on the concrete or the pavement of the playground. and a kid touched it, and then it was like, well, now it's like cooties from there. But you got rid of it once you touched someone. But now it sounds like your child has the cheese touch because he's got it.
It's
cheese
all
mouth,
your
at
fault.
least. It's your fault.
I laughed and I've told everybody because I think it's funny and I'm really old. But that was just beyond stupid. I could not believe it.
Hey,
so
you know who Billy Bob
attention.
Thornton is. So
there you go.
Good job.
And Demi Moore and Andy Garcia. And I did all that without looking at my script. And that'll do it for today's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Do not forget, Tommy Wirtz is up next. Those sultry tones, the big old hunk of love, takes you from 5 until 6 o'clock. Gets the best of the stuff from today, plus gives his spin on things tomorrow. Wisconsin Sports Weekend here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Saturday with that guy, Charlie Usen, and Taco Week guy, Jack Pembroke as well. Enjoy the rest of your night and your weekend. Have a good one, Wisconsin. Toodles!